temperature today?
Cold.
Yeah, it isn't. What was the temperature yesterday?
Nice and warm.
65 yesterday, and also going to be tonight.
It's 40 right now, and it's supposed to be in the 30s tomorrow, and maybe we might get a dusting of snow.
Yes.
Be some kind of moisture.
Yes, we'll take that,
We're
right?
so freaking dry, it's unbelievable.
Sydney Brianna, my AA Merle boy. So, A Merle boy, he looks like a regular Merle. Well, he should. AA makes for a solid coat colour. But I mean, it'll still make it a Merle. So that doesn't surprise me. Trent M, just want to give you some info on care credit. Most vets will take it, so it gives people another option if they can't afford that expensive C-section. But I don't know about care credit. There's two possibilities here. One is it's insurance, in which case I think it's probably not going to be very good, because I'm surprised that anybody's going to take insurance on a dog.
Just ask this: is your insurance all that great?
Yeah. But
when
maybe
when you need it real bad.
but maybe it's a way that you can pay for things after the fact, like a credit card. So I don't know how that works.
Just find you a good old country doctor. Do some research.
Right. Wally's World Fight. Well, that's exactly right. So what Tammy's saying is, look, if you've got to have a very expensive C-section, find out about it beforehand. Do some research. And maybe you can cut your $6,000 fee down to $1,500 or less.
And it's out there, I promise you.
Yeah, it is exactly. And
seatbelt on?
Yeah, I need to put it on. What brand do you use for DNA testing? Animal Genetics. Out of Tallahassee,
There's
Florida.
a lot of different other places too, and they make mistakes as well. Everybody's human, and it's just.
The thing that Animal Genetics doesn't have is they don't have the intensity gene test, which is unfortunate. Whereas UC Davis does, but if you use UC Davis, you've got to pay extra for the COCO test.
Some of them take like 3 to 4 weeks.
That's UC Davis.
Yeah, but I mean, if you know your dog's DNA and the male you bred it to, you pretty well know where you're at. And if they do make a mistake, they correct it real quick. It's just a phone call, or a message to them,
Philip Johnson, good day, guys. How can I stop ticks in dogs? How do you stop ticks? How do you stop ticks in people? Can you do the Tourette thing, Tammy? Do Tourette's for us.
No,
do a tick.
I don't think so.
I know how to stop ticks in humans. Stop doing that. So what is it? The tweakers? Is it crack?
I don't know.
Crack cocaine?
Yeah.
Take your dog off crack cocaine. Ticks. Well, there are a number of things that you can use for ticks. In pregnant dogs, no medication. We would never give a medication other than a topical spray like Adam's flea and tick spray. There's things like Provecto that we've used and other people use, and it says it's safe. I would not use it on a pregnant dog. And then there was a report the other day that somebody said their dog maybe went to seizures because of Provecto. I don't know if that's the cause of it, but there's things.
Did they ask their vet?
Well, I don't think the vet's going to know. I mean, I think that as far as Provecto, it says on the label it's safe on pregnant dogs. What points can my pups be removed from the heat-controlled area? So by the time they're 4 weeks old, they're running around and don't need any extra heat. Wally's World 512. What if a dog is a blue fawn, you're a hero, and both parents are cream? That can't be. If both parents are cream, it has to be a cream dog. It won't look like a blue dog. It might be a blue covered in cream, but you certainly won't see any signs of the you're a hero in the product of 2 cream dogs. We have, by the way, a litter right now, 3 puppies. 2 of them are obvious visual Euro heroes because there are 2 Euro heroes bred together. One of them is a cream dog, so you don't know whether it's a Euro hero or not because you can't see it. That's what I'm getting at. Have you ever used heat shots to induce heat? How do you feel about them? So there's a product I do know about, is PG600. It's a pig hormone to bring pigs in. If you go buy that at a Revival Vet, you'll see that on the comments it's all the Frenchy people who are talking about it with mixed results. I did have a customer who used it successfully. I've had another customer who used it unsuccessfully.
I don't even think you should use it.
Well,
you're going to take the chance of running your female on the inside of her uterus. It'll just rip it all up. It's just
So this is another thing here, is when should you try to use something, you know, beyond the natural method of just letting nature take its course.
Yeah.
We're a firm believer in the naturally let nature take its course. But if you've got a dog that's 3 years old, who's never had a heat, maybe you could try it.
Try the vitamin B12 or B.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, you know,
I've heard that.
well, let's just go back on what you're saying. What Tammy's saying
thing.
correctly is don't be using this on a dog that you haven't waited long enough on. And what is waiting long enough? I think 3 years. I think that a dog that hasn't had a heat in that kind of time frame, probably, you know, you could be silent heats you're missing, but maybe it makes sense to try it.
Hopefully you have your dog on the inside and be able to tell when she does come into heat, so you're not missing her. Always put a white towel down in the cage to make sure you're not missing that heat.
Stephen Nelson, hello, my name is Maggie. I have asked previously but haven't got a response. I just got my dog's DNA back. She tested for a mole as N231-268. This is the test that you got back from probably UC Davis. I don't know how their testing works on the numbers, so I'm just not very much used to on this. But they ought to have a link that you can go look at that they'll explain what the numbers are. So that's about all I can tell you there. So here's one for Tammy. Aloha, James. Mento Oriento 808 says, what do we do with our pregnant female? Refuses to eat. She's at day 40, and now she only eats about a quarter of her normal intake.
Well, number one, she's running out of room. And maybe she just gets real tight feeling when she's eating. Feed her smaller proportions more times a day. And if you have to hand feed her, that helps.
So, obviously a dog doesn't not to stop eating, because that's going to be a problem. Typically dogs in the last week of their gestation tend to lose their appetites, and like Tammy's saying, if they're full of puppies, they've got no room for their stomach or their bladder. So hand feeding can do wonders. A dog, this was Tammy mentioned, if a dog doesn't want to eat food, quite often they'll take food out of your hand. And then the next thing is change the data. I mean, you can't do better than boiled chicken and rice.
Yeah.
Totally safe.
Rice is kind of like your miracle drug.
Yeah, pretty yummy. They generally tend to like it. So I would start there. Tavo Swaniga. I have a female friend. She started here on December the 30th. Have tested her about 6 times so far. Stagnant. 3s to 2 PG levels going up to 3. How often does this happen? And what could cause this? Okay, so this is not an unusual thing in young dogs, especially dogs in their first, second heat cycle, where they start doing this bounce around thing. Her progesterone levels between 2 and 3. She is in heat, but it may take some time before she starts to go roll on properly with the heat cycle. I would be watching. I'd be watching her blood discharge color. I would probably test every 3 days at this point. Certainly sooner if a blood discharge color goes light. And that's all you can do. You just got to get on top of it, and it's going to cost you some money on testing. And if you had a progesterone machine, it would cost you $9 a test. And you could do it in the privacy of your own home in 15 minutes. Right, Tammy?
Yep, and then you could be doing other people's dogs and charge them for doing their dogs.
There you go.
That little machine pays itself off.
I've got lots of people doing that.
It pays itself off anyway, just by itself. Timing your breedings and timing your C-sections, and
that's exactly right.
Great stuff.
That's exactly right. But yeah, you just got to stick with it. There's no simple way out of this. You're just going to have to test, and it's not unusual. There's nothing you can give. There's nothing that you can do that I'm aware of to smooth this thing out, other than she's just going to have to wait, and finally numbers will bounce up then she's ready to breed. All right, that's it for this one. See you, everybody. Bye. Watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.